Okay, good afternoon, everyone. I hope you're all well. So today is our third last session, and I thought it would be nice for me to also maybe so that you guys can put a face to a voice and a name. I know some of you maybe have not seen me. I know that I think I only turned on my camera at the start of the sessions, and some of you guys had not been there. So this is me. Welcome to our session, and I hope that you guys are really excited to jump into our exam revision sessions. So for those who haven't already, I'll just ask that you add your student numbers to the chat, please. Let me just check that out. Yeah, and today's session is going to be a little bit different. As you guys know, we have now completed the study unit. We've gone through the entire thing. I'm so excited by that. So now that that's done and we sort of know the theory and we've understood the theory, I think that it's useful now for us to actually go in and try to apply or really try to practice what we have learned. So we're going to be going through some questions from past exam papers. I'm getting a feedback. Sorry. Okay. So we're going to be going through some past questions or questions that seem to come up a lot. And I really, really encourage you guys to get as involved as possible with especially this part. I think with the theory part, it was fine that, we sort of just listened and absorbed everything. But I think in this particular sessions, it's going to be really useful and we'll probably get the most out of it if we apply ourselves and really try to engage with the lesson. So what we're going to do essentially is I'm going to put up some possible questions, or not possible questions, but questions that we have probably seen come across. So I basically compiled a document of random questions from previous exams and previous assignments, and we are going to, so I'll put that up. I'll share my screen, I'll put that up, and then you guys are going to kind of work through it almost like a mock exam type. So you guys will work through it. I'll give about, I think 20 minutes is fair because I don't want, maybe 20 minutes, and then we're going to go in and actually work through them together. So I'll read out the questions and you guys will tell me what the answer is. And we're going to go one step further than just giving the answer, but actually having us explain why that is the answer and not the others, right? So we really want to get the reasoning behind the answers and not just to get the answers, because if we don't understand the reasoning, then it doesn't really help us. So that's how we're going to do this session. Yes, Nicole. You're welcome to unmute your mic and
it was an accident, I'm sorry.
Okay, no problem. All right, cool. So I'm going to now, thank you for those who have just put their student numbers in the chat. So I'm going to now share my screen. And then, like I said, I'm going to give us all about 20 minutes to work through the questions. I wish I could have actually shared the document in the chat so you guys can actually download it and have it and work on it on your PCs, but I don't have those rights. So because I'm a guest, so I can't share the file. So I'm going to just share my screen, and when you are done with a particular section, you can just let me know to move on. Okay. So please just let me know if you can see that clearly, if I need to zoom in, and then I'll do that. So up at this point, you should be able to see up to question 8. Does everyone see up to question 8. Is it clear enough, or should I zoom it?
Please zoom it. It's very small.
Okay, let me zoom it and just make it a one-pager. So we'll start now from 1 to... Shall I do... Okay, I think it's because I have this big monitor, so it's automatically goes to 2 pages. Sorry. Okay, so let's do 1 to 3. And I think maybe 5 minutes is probably too much, but let's do 5 minutes on question 1 to 3, and then we'll move on. Is that okay? Nicole, you're still unable to see. I don't know how else I can do this now. Let me check. Adele? I don't know if Adele is with us. Maybe Adele can help to... Sorry, guys. I should have actually thought...
Hello, Lorraine.
Hi, Adele. Hi, Adele.
Are you well?
I'm well, thank you.
Good. Just so the students know, if they click on those little dots, then it also gives them the option of accessing full screen. So they must also just make sure that they are on full screen.
Okay.
And then if you just enlarge your page, I think you're on 127 now. Can you make it even larger? Let me just see what that looks like.
Yeah, I can go up to, I'm on 200 now.
Is that better, students?
Is that okay? Okay, on full screen now, it's better.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, it's better.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. So we'll do, I guess, 2 questions at a time. Okay, thanks, Adele. Okay, so it's now 17:41. Let's give ourselves about 3 minutes, and then we'll move on to the next questions, because I don't want us to not get through the whole question paper. Okay, so you guys will just note down your answers and let me know when I can scroll up. I'm just scrolling up. I'm assuming we're all done with question 1, so I'm just scrolling up to question 3. Please tell me if you're not there yet. Okay, I'm scrolling up. Okay, scrolling up. Oh, sorry, there are more answer options. Can we move to number 5? No, sorry, that was number 4, Lizette. Question 4, 1 and 5, same options. All right, so you can then ignore that. Thanks for noting that. Okay, are we okay to move on to question 5? Moving to question 6. Hi, Fiona. No problem. So this is not any particular exam paper. It's actually just random. I randomly selected questions across different exam papers and assignments. So you're welcome to just join in. What we're doing right now is just going through, everyone is going through the questions on their own and just making a note of the answer. And then afterwards, we will go through it all together and discuss the answers and discuss the reasoning behind the answer so that we know that we really understand why a particular answer is the answer and not the others. So you're welcome to just join in where we are now at question 7 and note down your answers, and then yeah, you can catch up with the 1 to 6 when we go through it together. Is everyone okay with question 8? I'm going to give us maybe another minute on question 8 and then we'll move on. Yes, the recording will be available, Caitlin. Okay, thanks for noting that, Caitlin. That must have been an oversight in my copying over, so we'll just ignore question 12. Is everyone happy with us to move on to question 18 to 20? Okay, we'll give it one more minute. Okay, I think we'll move on if everyone is okay with that. All right, the final few. Okay, I think we should all be done, correct? Okay, I think we're all done. And we are going to go all the way back up. I hope that you guys found that exercise helpful. And even if there were some questions where you maybe had a question mark, this is now going to be a good time for us to actually explore those and really talk through it so we can understand. If we do come across a similar question in the exams, we'll sort of understand the reasoning behind the answer. Okay, so I think how we're going to go now is I'd love for everyone to really participate. So from my view, the name sort of, Mildred is first, and then it's Amy, Inga, Fiona, Lizette, Caitlin, Nicole, Marianne, and Sandra. So it's an all-female team today. I think what we'll do is, Mildred, if you can start us off with what you had for question 1, and then the rest of the class can see if we agree or disagree, and if you could please also explain to us why you chose that answer. Right? Are you okay with that?
Yeah, for me, to be honest, this has proved to me that I'm not ready.
Oh no.
I found this quite challenging, to be honest. For number 1, I chose 4.
Number 1, you chose 4. So you're saying scientific thinking makes sense because 1 is logical, 2 collects evidence, 3 explains relationship between variables, and 4 all of the above. So you said 4, and I see the rest of the class agrees with you. Okay, well, that's correct. You want to tell us maybe why, or was it just why you chose 4?
I think I read somewhere about the scientific thinking, which actually involved all the 3 selections there.
Okay, perfect, great. Thanks, Mildred. See, if we're able to just refer our answers back to what we've read, then that really helps. Okay, cool. Thank you, Amy. You're up next with question 2. So we're saying premature closing of inquiry can be avoided by A, carefully studying published research results and current thinking on a specific subject matter, B, planning for more time in which to research a problem, C, not being intimidated by bodies of authority to produce results, or D, selecting a very interesting research topic that continuously fascinates the researcher.
Okay.
So how do we avoid premature closing of inquiry?
Well, for premature closing, obviously that means that you obviously close the research too early. So for me, I thought that A made sense, understanding the results, and then understanding the subject matter that you would be studying. Planning for more time, absolutely. I mean, any good researcher has to plan their time correctly, so that they don't feel rushed. And C, definitely, to be pressured to produce results that's a very common cause of premature closing. So I would definitely say that must be avoided so that it doesn't happen. And D, I didn't think D was entirely accurate, an interesting research topic. If it was a boring research topic, that doesn't mean that you have to close the research early. So I thought D was invalid. So I just went with number 1, ABC.
All right.
If that's
Thank you.
entirely.
What is the rest of the class? Thanks, Amy. Let's see what everyone else says. Fiona agrees. Nicole agrees.
I just mean that you shouldn't close prematurely, is what I mean. Even if it's boring, it's still a research topic. You should still try and go all the way, even if it's boring.
Right. Yes. Thank you. Thank you for also just talking us through your thinking there, Amy. Yes. So that is correct. Lizette says, if you get bored, then you will close it prematurely. I suppose, but I don't know if we have that sort of reasoning in our study unit. But I see where you're going with it, yeah. But I think we must also try to ensure that what we are answering actually matches with what our study unit has said. Of course, in the exams, we're not going to have our study unit with us. I don't think so. But yeah, the answer there is A, B, and C. All right, thanks, Amy. Inga, are you able to? You're next, note number 3. I don't know if you're able to use the mic or if you're gonna text. Hi, Inga.
I actually have a question mark at number 3, but I'll try.
Okay.
I'll try.
Okay.
Okay. So number 3, I was actually really lost with this one. Honestly, like I have a question. I have an answer everywhere except for 3 and 4. So,
Okay. No, that's fine. Let's go through it together then. So we're asked which of the following statements are correct, right? According to interpretivists, and now we already know which research approach we need to be thinking about. So 1, apparently, according to interpretivists, social reality is inherently meaningful. Is that accurate or inaccurate, based on our readings?
I would say
This is accurate.
That's accurate, correct? Yes.
so we know
and then
so we know A. Okay.
Yeah. So if you just think of interpretivist, just think of the root word interpret, and when you interpret something, you're basically trying to understand the meaning of it, correct? So that therefore social reality is inherently meaningful. That's what they're looking at. B, the social sciences should not approach research in the same way as the natural sciences. Is that accurate or inaccurate? According to interpretivists. So remember what they're looking at, the meaning making, right? So would they agree that social science and natural science should be studied the same way?
No. Yes, no.
Right, so they would not agree, right? Which means B is
so
accurate.
B
is accurate.
Okay.
Yes, sorry, I just changed the question too much there. But yes, B is accurate. C. Okay, C, according to interpretivists, social reality does not exist independently of the knower thereof. Is that true? Yes or no?
No.
So remember for
yes.
Right. So this statement is basically saying I'm the knower of social reality. So I'm the subject, and then social reality is something that's happening out there. It doesn't exist. Do you know what I mean? Like we are separate things. Like social reality is out there and I'm out here. And according to the interpreters, that would not make sense because they're saying social reality is about how I, as a subject, interact and interpret what's happening around me, right? So that would be accurate.
Yes. Okay.
Okay.
So A, B, and C.
So far we've got A, B, and C as being true about interpretivists. Right, let's look at D. They're saying that common sense provides useful insight into an understanding of social reality. Accurate or inaccurate according to the interpretivists?
I would say inaccurate. not accurate.
Why is that not accurate according to the interpretivists?
Oh, like you said, we have to think about interpreting when we think about interpretivist. So I don't think that it's accurate.
Okay.
Oh no, no.
Hello. Sorry about that, guys. I just
No.
got kicked out. Okay, I'm back. Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, yes, yes. I can hear
Okay,
you.
okay. Cool. Sorry, Caitlin, I got kicked out, but I'm back. Okay. So we said so far we've got A, B, and C as true. Right. So let's look at D. We said common sense provides. I said, okay, this is where I was. I said that I would say it's yes, because if we start trying to understand how someone views social reality, common sense is one of the ways that we actually do understand social reality, right? If we see someone crossing a road, we understand that common sense tells us they're crossing a road because there are no cars. You know, so that's one of the ways that we actually interpret the things that are happening around us.
Okay.
Is everyone happy with that?
Thank
So
you.
so far we've got A, B, C, and D. If we go to our answer options, then we see the one that actually gives us A, B, C, and D. And that gives
Yes,
us, that's number one. Correct. Okay. I'll just encourage us to go back and really read into those different approaches and really try to visualize for ourselves what exactly the different researchers are looking for in those types of in those research approaches. Cool. Thank you. Thanks, Inga. Okay, next is number 4 with Fiona. You're up. Okay, sorry, just gonna go back. Option C. Okay, no problem, Fiona. I'm just gonna go through option C of question 3 again. So option C says social reality does not exist independently of the knower thereof. Right, so social reality is this thing that's happening out there, and I, as a knower of social reality, or a subject, again, terminology is a bit off here, but as the subject, I am always interacting with social reality, right? So for me to be able to interpret and make sense of social reality, essentially, we're always interacting with it. I'm not sure if I'm explaining this properly, but essentially it would be inaccurate to say that reality is something that happens out there, and I, as someone who interacts with reality, am separate from that reality. I'm not sure if it's if I'm really explaining it well here. Does not exist independently. Yeah. It does exist independently. Got it. It does exist. Yeah, sorry. The double negatives is, for me, is a bit, throws me off a bit, but yes. If it's not super clear, I'm willing to go back and just make it make sense for myself again, and then we can talk about it at the next session. Okay, Fiona, are you ready for number 4? Okay, no microphone. Okay, you can maybe just tell us what answer you've got there. answer 1. Okay. So you're saying that scientists, most of them, try to find reasons why the new evidence is problematic and should not be accepted, and they ignore the new evidence completely. Correct. Awesome. Thanks, Fiona. Question 5. Next is Lizette. No.
But nothing there. I couldn't get to the answer. Someone help me, please.
Option 1 and A. Option 1 was A and D, not A and B.
They all look predictive to me. Like they're all hypothesizing something.
Okay.
Confused there.
But no. So question 5 is where we're at right now. Yes. Which of the following examples of operationalized hypothesis? So you're saying that. Sorry, guys, I'm getting a bit confused with the messages in the chat here. Are we all on question 5?
Sorry, can I say something quickly?
Sure.
For question 4, option 1 was A and D, but you read the options for A and B. Which,
Sorry.
Yes.
Try to find reasons. And wait until a better theory arises. Yes, that makes more sense. That was my bad. Sorry. Okay, cool. Do we all have A and D marked though? Just so when we are revising that, we're actually revising the right stuff. Okay, thank you. So question 5, Lizette said no, is what I remember. Any takers for question 5? Which are the following examples of operationalized hypothesis? Here we want to know what an operationalized hypothesis is, firstly, before we can answer the question. Okay, thank you. Caitlin said that it's on page 64 of the study guide. If we can all turn to that, if we do have the study guide in front of us, so that we can get that definition to help us answer the question. Is anyone willing to give it a shot? Are we still reading? Okay, so firstly, we are told that a hypothesis is a tentative statement, right, of the relationship between 2 or more variables. So we're looking at a relationship here. Okay, we're looking at a relationship between 2 variables. And okay, we're all reading still. maybe 2. So is that A, B, and D? So the first thing we're looking at, is there a relationship? Let's look at a relationship first, because our hypothesis is a statement about a possible relationship. So A is not, we're not being told about a relationship, we're really just being given a basic statement that this is how it happened or when it happens. So that's more a state fact, right, or a statistic than a hypothesis.
So if it's like that, we're ruling out every answer that is an A.
Yep, that would be a good strategy.
Which leaves us with 4.
Which leaves us with 4. Yeah. So 4 is B and D, right? B says that car hijacking in South Africa will decrease if the average personal disposable income of people increase. So there we already see that there's a relationship, right? That is being sort of proposed, that one will decrease if one increases. And the same with D, we're saying that one will decrease if the other increases. So if there's the increase of the death penalty, or if something happens. So those are 2 relationships. So I just want to bring.
What about E? Isn't there a relationship there?
There's a relationship there. So that then takes us to our next thing. So hypothesis, we've looked at relationship. Cool. Operationalized hypothesis, when we are introduced to that term operationalized, it means it's something that can be empirically studied or that can be observed. That you can very clearly observe this thing happening. So the problem with E is we don't know how to study the justice system deteriorating. How do we determine what that looks like?
Right.
So how do we study that? How do we observe that? So operationalize, we must be able to study it. We must be able to collect very practical or tangible data from it. So we know that if there's a death penalty is imposed, we can study that, right? We can get the numbers of how many people were sentenced to the death penalty. And the same with B, we can clearly see, okay, the stats of people's income increasing and how that affects the hijacking numbers, right? Is there anything else there? I'm trying to... C has a relationship. It's telling us more, cause and effect. It's saying that hijacking is as a result of something that happened. So we can't study something that has happened already, right? We can't go and collect data on past oppression of poor people. So it needs to be something that we can collect data on today. Is there a difference between hypothesis and operationalize? I mean, so the hypothesis is the term itself, a statement about a relationship or proposed relationship. That's a hypothesis. Operationalized hypothesis or operationalizing something is just making it easy to observe or easy to study, right? So we turn it into something that you can, if you just think about the word itself, operationalize it, you're making something usable, correct? So how do we make it usable? How do we make it easy to study or easy to observe? All right, let me just see if I've missed any. Okay, so are we all happy with that? Can we not test the truth of A? But A isn't actually telling us about a relationship, right? So we first need to have a relationship before we can test the relationship. So A is just telling us this is what happens to 4 out of 100,000 people. So there's no real relationship of if one thing increases, another decreases. So that's the kind of relationship we're looking for. All right. as in practical. Yes, yes. Okay, cool. So our answer there was number 4. Thank you. Sorry, I don't know. I think that was Fiona's. That was Lizette's, right? So question 6. We might not be able to get to all the answers in the time that we have, but I will try to put out the answers so that we can go back in our own time and sort of try to align that with our study unit. Okay, question 6 is Caitlin.
Hi.
Hey.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
So I didn't have time to find a reference, but I do remember reading about it. So I chose number 5, which was basically everything except B, which is that theory is based on speculation. So I know that that's not true. And the other options I know are true. Just some of the wording confused me a little bit. Maybe E suggests that kind of facts we should be looking for. Yeah, I think that's my final answer.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great. Great. Thanks, Caitlin. Does anyone else have the same answer? Same reasoning? Same, exactly. All of them are accurate except for B, because theory is not based on speculation. It is based on, yes, 5, question 6. Perfect, perfect. Yes, it provides an explanation and it specifies relationship, organizes and systematizes ideas, and suggests what kind of facts we should be looking for in research. Yeah. The wording there is not great, but yeah, it is one of the functions of theory. Okay, cool. That was a C. Is also confusing, isn't it? Supposed to be a relationship between two variables. No. The hypothesis, remember, looks at the relationship between two variables, but a theory can just tell us the relationship between two terms, two key concepts. Yeah, it doesn't necessarily have to be variables. Yeah, I don't think I've explained that really nicely. If you have time, please go and read that. Otherwise, we can chat about it in the next session. I am making a note of all of these so that I don't forget. Okay, question 7. Thanks so much, Caitlin. Is Nicole, question 7. Another hypothesis one.
I said number 7 is number 4 because there's a relationship between variables.
Exactly. Exactly. The other options don't have, we don't see a relationship there, right?
Yeah.
It's a consequence of powerlessness. Okay. Anyone else agree? 1 or 2? Question 7, 1 or 2? More women than men registered to study in the social sciences. I don't really see a relationship there, Amy. It just seems like one of those statistical statements. Alienation, perhaps number 2 could be. Alienation is a consequence of powerlessness. But so there's some sort of relationship there, but it's not really, what's the word? It's not really clear what the relationship is, right? So the hypothesis isn't just that there's a relationship, but what is the relationship? So we don't know what exactly alienation and powerlessness, what influences what. But with number 4, we see the relationship clearly, that as one increases, the other increases as well, right? So number 5 is a bit of an assumption. Yeah, number 5 is an assumption, so it's not a hypothesis, right? That is very true. I do not disagree at all. Okay, so I think we're at number 8 now. Marianne did say that she's not able to use the mic. I don't know, Marianne, are you able to maybe just type your answer out to us? It's another question on theories. Yeah, we're told, you know, there are a lot of what boys with beards is what I hear a lot these days. That one is he's just a boy with a beard. So yeah, we know that age definitely doesn't determine maturity. Marianne, are you with us? Okay, I don't know if Marianne is able to. Oh, she is. Okay, number 4. Number 4. So same. Okay, let's see. Theories are simply the opinions of people and the truths. We know that's not true. It's not opinions. B can tell us the ultimate truth of the world. That's not really what theories are trying to do, right? C, provide. Okay, I just scratched out your answer there, Marianne. But yes, A is not correct because theories are not opinions, right? Theories need to be based on some empirical data, or yeah. So that leaves us with C and D. It provides explanation for why things are as they are. We've seen that already, and it guides us in understanding scientific observations. Exactly. So we've got 3 there. All right, thank you. Next, we've got number 9. Let me just go to it. With number 9 is Sandra. Which of the following is not a characteristic of quantitative research? Sandra said 1 is not. Perfect. Okay. And then we've got number 10. I think for the questions where we're all in agreement, we're not going to maybe delve too deeply into it because the assumption is then we all understand and we're all happy with it. Okay, number 10 is, I see we've got Andiswa has joined us. Welcome, Andiswa. Are you feeling confident enough to take on number 10? The concept of triangulation means. I think let's give Andiswa a chance to maybe answer first. Okay, sorry, maybe I sprung that up on you too, because I know you've just joined us, Andiswa. So, okay, we're gonna maybe move on there. So everyone is saying, I've got 3s and 4s. And the answer there is 4. Yeah, exactly. It's 4, so it's not limited to 3 techniques. It's various or multiple techniques that are used. Great. Thanks for everyone there. Okay, cool. Number 11, I think we will start back with Mildred. Which of the following items distinguishes true experimental research from quasi-experimental research? 10 is 4, yes. 10 is 4.
For 11, let's see, I chose 3.
You chose 3. Okay, so 3 is the random assignment of subjects to groups. Yes. Does everyone agree with 3? Here we need to know the characteristics of a true experimental research and a quasi-experimental research. Is everyone happy with 11 being 3? I've got the same answer there. Okay, wonderful, wonderful. What does B mean? Okay, so B is just one of those things that are there to throw us off. The use of a non-probability sample. So we know then that non-probability sampling is, when we're choosing samples based on things like convenience and, connections and things like that. So it's not random, essentially. It's a non-random sampling. Okay, thanks, Nicole. Thanks. We'll see you on Wednesday. Okay. Okay, thank you, Mildred. Let me just highlight that. Okay, we're going to skip number 12 and go to 13. Amy, number 13.
Okay, number 13. I was a little bit undecided about this one. Situational, like judgments about ethics. I said 2 has to be the methods that you use have to be considered when you are doing your research, because how you do anything in research is going to be judged. So 2 to me is the most accurate, I think.
Correct. Yeah. I've got that as well. And I think everyone agrees. Perfect. Thank you. And I think keyword there would be, what would be your main concern, right? Because all of the others would be a concern, but your main one would be then the methods you use. All right, number 14, Inga.
I have 2.
Sorry, number 12. No, Amy, so we skipped number 12 because there was no context to the question. There was meant to be a case study here, but that wasn't copied over, so we've skipped number 12. Okay, sorry about that. Inga, you are
14, I have 2.
14, you've got 2. Which behavioral norm or principle relates to the researcher's motives for conducting a research study? Ooh, you've got 2. 2 is informed consent. So we're talking about behavioral norms or principles, right? So with informed consent, it's more around ethics. Yeah. So what are we thinking? The researcher's motives. So what's his motivation for conducting the study? Which one relates to that?
1.
No. So with ethics, we've got the things that the participant, so there are 2 parts, right? It's the participant part where you need to make sure that the participants actually volunteer to participate, that it's voluntary participation. You need to make sure that you've gotten consent from them, and you need to make sure that you basically don't harm them, right? So those are all about the participant. But when we're talking about the researcher himself, we look at these behavioral norms like communalism, honesty, and that last one, number 4 here, disinterestedness. Yeah.
Okay,
yeah,
so then I think it would be number 4 then.
Number 4, exactly. All right. Thanks, Inga. So I think we'll do one more. And then, because we are running out of time, so we'll do one more. And then I'll put up the answers for the remaining 5 so that you guys can note it down. And if there are any differences in opinions, then we can quickly chat through those, and then we can close up for today. Okay, I don't know if Andiswa is still with us, so maybe Fiona. with number 15. Which ethical requirement is being met if we treat respondents in an interview equally? Number 2, justice, exactly. Perfect, thank you. Okay, I think I'm gonna move on, so we're doing good. 16, Caitlin, can you take this one?
Okay, I chose 4, sensitivity of information, and the place and how public the research finding is, just because I remember that from an assignment. I don't have a reference.
Okay, cool. Does everyone agree? Because I've got that as well. I just want to make sure we're all happy with that answer and we can go in and find the reference in our own time. Perfect, perfect. Okay. So 17, that should be a nice easy one. Lizette. 16 was 4. 16 was 4. 17, Lizette, can you take that one for us? I keep forgetting to do this. I'm so sorry. You've got 1. Which of the following threats to internal validity is associated with the lack of random sampling? So what part of our research do we do sampling in? The lack of random assignment is about sampling, actually. Yes. So 4, yeah. So the selection, right? When we think about the word random assignment, I mean, my mind immediately went to sampling, which, you know, is about the selection of our participants. Okay, so that's number 4. Thank you so much. I think we might actually finish up. Number 18. Okay, no problem. Number 18, Sandra, can you take this one for us? And I think this one you guys probably saw in an assignment. She had 4. That's what I had as well. Is everyone happy with 4? Okay, we've got a 3. This is one that we actually had a bit of a issue with in one of the consultations, where yeah, the answer according to the lecturer was number 4. Yeah, that's number 4. Okay. If you are feeling uneasy about some of these answers, please let me know. Then we can just have a one-on-one and chat through those particular questions, or we can, you know, as we cover on Wednesday some more. Hopefully, you know, something similar will come up, and we can discuss that as we go. Okay, number 19. Mildred, can you take 19 for us?
Okay, let's see something. I have 2. That was guesswork, to be honest.
So we're saying that
Subjects straight in my head, but
subjects are randomly assigned to experimental and control groups to ensure that the 2 groups contain an equal number of subjects. Not really. Consist of subjects with the same characteristics. Include subjects who can be matched and do not differ systematically before the treatment is applied. So you've got number 2. I've got number 4. I've got 4. Not that 2 is not wrong, but I think the when we've already selected these subjects, remember, we're already selecting certain type of people, so they already have the same characteristics, right? So now within that group of people with the same characteristics, we want to then randomly assign them to different groups so that there are no huge differences, right? Or that everyone has a chance of getting in to either control group or an experimental group. Yeah, so we've got number 4 there. And then 20. Again, I realize we are going quite fast through these last ones. So yeah, please do flag if you need us to chat through some more. Okay, number 20, it's open for anyone to take. I'll just check in the chats now. Okay, I'm assuming this is for number 20, right? Amy, Lizette, and Caitlin. I see 2, 2, and 1. Yes, okay. Ooh. Quasi is not randomized. Number 2, yeah. I think quasi is randomized. I think the study unit said that it can or cannot be randomized, right? So you must just maybe just be careful with that one. So number 2 is our answer there. All right, I think we did good. How are you guys feeling about that? That's the end of our. Oh, that's it. Yeah, the questions are tricky, so I think it's going to be really important for us to read and reread. And if you must go through the method of elimination, see what absolutely makes sense and what you're a bit unsure about. But if you've got, especially with those questions where it's like multiple answers, really check what makes sense, what you can absolutely say with certainty this is right, and then you look for those answer options that have that one. Yeah, and then just making sure that we can actually refer our answers to what the study unit have said. So we need to have that background knowledge of what the study unit has said. Okay, so questions are tricky. These help to find our knowledge weak spots. Exactly. Thank you so much, guys. Lizette, I'm not sure what platform you guys will be using for exams. Maybe Adele can help with that. But she'll probably type it in the chat later. Okay, so that's it for us today. Thank you so much, guys, for engaging. On Wednesday, we're going to do an exam paper because these were mostly from assignments. So Wednesday, we're going to do an exam paper, I think 2019. June 2019 on Wednesday, and then next week Monday we'll do November 2019, just the most recent ones. And I hope that in between these sessions you guys are also you keep practicing and you are looking at other question papers. If you don't know where to access those, please send me, you can come and type it in the chat here, and someone can help you. I'll help you, or one of the facilitators. So yes, that's it for today. No, actually, I'd rather we actually do it in session. So don't do those exam papers yet. We're going to do it in the session because it's sort of like getting a practice of actual exams, because I think when you do it on your own, you'll be checking your study unit, which is not a bad thing. But I think in this platform, we're able to really test our knowledge and see where our weak spots are. So if you can hold it off, don't look at it maybe too deeply, so that we can do it in the session. Yeah, maybe we won't spend too much time doing the individual part because you guys will have the thing with you. You will have the document on your side. So yes, we'll be doing that on Wednesday. Okay, well, that's it for today. Thank you ladies, have a great evening, and I'll see you all on Wednesday. Bye.